You know, woke up this morning with some new clarity on the mind. Just getting my day started. Had to go grab me some water, Got all the soup in the house and all the orange juice, but there's no water. Thought about getting some pH water, but that stuff is expensive. You might as well just buy some lemons and squeeze it into some spring water. So what I wanted to talk about today is being a little bit more transparent. I spoke about the original human beings a few eons ago. They were content creators, they were music producers, they were dancers, all types of artists, and they expressed themselves through their art, which helped heal people. A good laugh is good for the soul, man. Laughter, which the science of it is, taking in extra air, the earth prana source, and cleansing out your energies, helping your blood to let more oxygen travel throughout you. It's a whole science thing. I can go spiritually into it as well, but just wanted to make things a little bit more simple and give you some more stories into my life. So I've always been a very stoic person. If you've ever seen any pictures of me as a baby online with the apple, right? I have a straight face, and my son is pretty much the same way. So I was never really a kid that or a baby that sat around crying and complaining. As I got older, and my mom would promise me gaming consoles and things like that, and never fulfilled. And every Christmas I would be expecting something but never got it. So different things shaped me into a different person. I was not always, I've had my chance to have fun and things like that. I've had as much fun as any kid born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't poor. I did a lot of things that, I should say I'm very happy and I'm very proud of experiencing in my youth. Even now, as an older gentleman, still young, but people younger than me would look at me as an older guy. The crazy part is I have an organ transplanted in me from 6 years ago, so I actually feel like I'm still in my 20s. But yeah, man, I was thinking about recently watched this. Not a horror movie. It's actually a Japanese animated movie, which I would recommend people get into. They teach you a whole lot of life experience. See, people wonder why I'm such a nerd and how I'm so smart and all these things. Again, going back to being 6 years old and 8 years old and playing video games like Street Fighter and learning about quarter circles and playing games like Final Fantasy at 9 years old, knowing how to make decisions, reading all day, because RPGs back then, the characters didn't talk. You had to literally read everything. You had to count your money, your Jill, buy specific weapons, even Command and Conquer, the army game. It's like you have to actually set up a military base and conquer the other army. So people wonder why I'm such a geek and a nerd, and why I read tarot and all these things. Yes, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards when I was younger, amongst other things. But people don't really understand these things until you take the time to explain these things to people. If they are able to understand, again, 90% of the people in this world are closed-minded and distracted. But yeah, man, I recently watched this J-anime, man. This movie was it was a little over 2 hours long. I think it was called A Quiet Voice or something like that. It was about this bully, this guy bully who was bullying this girl when they were young, and then when they got older, they kind of like formed like a best friendship, almost like a semi love relationship, best friendship. But it was basically they went through so much together as youths that when they got older, I guess high school, and they look back on their lives, they realize how serious karma can be. I talk about karma all the time, being a Libra and being the scales of balance and all that stuff. And man, that anime really hit me hard. So there's literally been only two, Pokemon would be the second one, I guess. So the very first movie that ever made me cry, or animated movie that ever made me cry as a man, being vulnerable at this point, being transparent and having all your thoughts and ideas. See, people are post things at 2 a.m. on Facebook that they should have just kept to themselves. They post negativity, but they won't post. If the girl that thinks she's the perfect queen or princess, she won't post the vulnerability. She won't post herself online without makeup. But so yeah, I think I was about 8 years old. I had no money, but I often hung out with my cousin on the weekends, and his mom took us to go see Lion King. Is this a surprise to you? If you my age and you heard me say 8 years old and the first movie made me cry, I know the first thing you probably thought was The Lion King. Yep, when Mufasa died trying to save his son. Yes, sir. That was the first time a movie ever made me cry as a little boy. And then, of course, the second would be, I guess, the Pokemon, the first movie. How old was I? Was I a teenager? I had to be maybe 12 or 13. I was still in middle school, so I had to be 12 or 13. Yep. Yeah, man. The end of the movie, made it all the way to the end of the movie, and then they turned ash into stone. Oh, man. Remember that everyone was trying to get the Mew and Mewtwo, the rarest cards in the game, right? Why are you collecting Pokemon cards, and why are you such a nerd? I can pull a Mew or Mewtwo card out of a Pokemon pack and make your whole paycheck. Especially in 2021. That's your whole paycheck for a year. So this is the power of being a geek or a nerd. Your muscles are not going to last. The muscles that you had in high school are not going to last your entire life. As in my intelligence, and when I really pulled the laser beams out of my closet, we'll see if your muscles can really hold up. So that's the second movie that made me cry. So this movie, which is actually a very mature movie, A Quiet Voice, I believe it's called. I'll make sure I put the information in the description box below. So make sure you follow me on my socials. My handles, OU Lucy on Instagram. Yeah, so it was just an interesting movie, man. The character development is A1, and it's like a culmination of things. There's so many layers on top of layers here. Like the main character, the guy, he was like very arrogant, very rude, very popular, very playful and spontaneous and things like that, until the second main character came. I'm not sure if she was a transfer student or something like that. I think she was just a new student or whatever. But the catch was that she was deaf, like extremely deaf. So when she introduced herself to the classroom, she introduced herself with a notebook. So the students would have to communicate with her on a notebook. At some point, they decided to bring in a sign language teacher to help them communicate with her. But this bully was pretty much bullying her throughout the whole entire first part of the movie. And then as he grew up, he ran across her at an older age. And he decided, over the years, he was learning sign language so that when he meet her, he can apologize to her and all these things. And yeah, man, a pretty good movie. And I can't even pinpoint a specific point in this movie that made me cry. Like the whole first half of the movie built up so much emotion and tension and character development. And then towards the middle and end of the movie, once the characters started opening themselves up in a more realistic and mature way, man, it really hit home. That is very good script writing and very good filmmaking. That is very good art. The visual storytelling is like one of my favorite things in regards to any medium. Well, yeah, man. Those three animated films are three films that I can remember in my lifetime that caused. I don't like this. I'm a man, so of course I don't want to say it just made me cry, but it made me experience my emotions in a different way.